spearheaded the effort for the marquee restoration.
So we bought the building, remodeled it. Looks nothing like it used to.
The ugliest Christmas sweater I've ever seen.
Me too.
And you're live.
And we're live. We're in Rochester this time. Keith Collins. How the heck are you? The second.
The second.
So we're going to find out what the heck all that means.
Oh, geez.
Once I share this to a couple of other Facebook pages. And thanks everyone who's coming on the podcast. This is Mavericks podcast, and this is all about the whole idea is centralized around the inspiring, influential leaders within the community. And I have to give a shout out to Alpha Roofing Company. They're our main sponsor. They're in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and also in North Iowa. So they'll be busy very soon with the warm temperatures. And how you liking this weekend? I mean, it was 80 degrees.
Oh, I know. I came up and it was snowing the first week I was here. Now it's 80. So,
well, it's funny that you said that. So Easter last year, we had a foot of snow. I have pictures on my Facebook page. I actually should have shared it yesterday, but I was a little bit busy. From, most of Iowa and I would say at least the lower third of Minnesota had about 10 to 12 inches. And then I remember that was on Easter. And then about 4 days after that, so Wednesday, Thursday, it was completely gone.
Jeez.
And the year before that, it was 83. So we're going like every other year on Easter. It's warm or cold, warm or cold. Keith Collins, he's with Farmers Insurance. You're now a Nelson Media Company client, which
Absolutely.
I am 100% appreciative of that. And I remember the first interaction that we had, I was reaching out to a few folks and I looked at Keith, and what stood out was the second. Like, okay, so where does that all come about? So you got a father that was junior and a grandpa that was a senior, or did we just decide to throw the second in there randomly?
So they kind of skipped it. My parents broke the rules and they went straight to the second, and they put it on my birth certificate. And I'm glad they did. It's a unique, and I almost thought, yeah, you should have that lineage. So I always appreciated it because it differed from my father, both on Social Security and credit reports and just in general.
So what's happening when your mom's yelling, Keith, Keith? You both looking, or do you guys have, does your dad have like a little pet name from your mom, like baby, or?
I think I was probably like, because me and my brother, my sister would have the pet names.
Yeah.
It was always between those.
What was your pet name?
I think I was Bud. And my brother was Peanut.
Bud, like B-U-D, like Budweiser?
Well, not like Budweiser. My grandpa Bud. So
I see.
So he went by that moniker, and so I kind of assumed it because I was actually born a couple days. Ooh, bless you.
Sorry, I'm not allergic to you. I don't.
Oh, you're all good, but
COVID.
But I was born a couple days after he passed away, so it was kind of like a natural fit there.
So I can call you Bud. Christine and I can call you
Sure,
Bud.
Absolutely.
Doesn't he look more like a Bud?
I could go.
I could.
Bud Collins.
You look more like a Bud than a Keith.
Oh shoot.
You're done now.
Yeah, I'm not going there. I do want to find out a little bit about how you got to Rochester. So your last job, how did you get here? Where are you living now?
Yeah, we could start all the way. So I'm originally from upstate New York, a town called Stillwater.
You don't have much of an accent for a New Yorker.
No, there was more cows than people where I was from, and they were very, very nice, and had a decision because parents moved down to St. Louis. It was like, okay, I want to make the jump down to St. Louis. A lot of opportunity in St. Louis, paired with farmers, because it was either car sales or insurance sales.
I could so see you in cars.
So I did cars for a while.
I think it's the slick hair.
Oh shoot. But yeah, no, I was kind of done with car sales. So then I was like, okay,
You did cars. You said you were serious. You were doing
I sold Nissans in New York.
How did you do?
Did well. I didn't necessarily care for it though, because that industry is very competitive, salesperson to salesperson, and I much prefer a collaborative environment. And that's not to say every car dealer's like
Just
everybody's.
where you were working.
You
want to give a shout out to the company that you worked at?
Every car dealership is that way.
Yeah,
Probably to a point.
but it was such a good experience because I got to learn all about, hey, this is how sales come, and if a customer tells you they're going to be back, they're probably not going to be back, and just kind of the sales 101, if you will.
That's funny because I went to Ashley Furniture the other day, And I went to look at a table. I'm looking for a high table. And I said, don't worry, I'll be back Monday. And I didn't even think about it until you said that.
You didn't go back, did you?
Nope. So you got to somehow bring them in. And I gave them even a recommendation. I'm like, hey, if you give me free delivery, I'll buy it now. Or if you take it apart, put it in my car, I'll do it now. And his name is Randy. And I actually called him Randall. And he wouldn't do it. So I said, Randy, I'll see you Monday, I guess. And that, you know what that means. We're not coming back.
They're on the be-back bus.
Hey, if you're trying to sell me a car, what's your line? What's your closing line? You're not one of those guys that'll say, how can I get you into a Nissan today?
No, I just ask you, do you want it in red or black?
That's better. Yeah. I would prefer it in blue. Do you have blue?
Got blue.
Yep.
Sign here.
Now, what happens if you don't have the blue?
Oh, you find in car sales, you always found the car. Like, you don't care what color, what make, what feature it had. You sell the idea of the car first, and then you figure it out right after the fact.
Okay. So then you left cars, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna put my foot just lightly into the pool of insurance. So how did that start in St. Louis?
So the insurance was very competitive at that time because I had a lot of companies reach out to me, as you can imagine, because every insurance company is trying to grow and trying to get great staff members. So as I was looking at Farmer's opportunity, it was very unique in the sense that you could build your own agency, you could sell it down the road, and that really appealed to me. And at that time, kind of deemed too young to be an agent, so was a producer for a while, and then worked my way into a district recruiting role because I really enjoyed what the district model at Farmers is very unique. It's very great in that each one of them is an independent business owner as well. And so as I was recruiting for a guy named Mark Lee in St. Louis, one of the greatest district managers there, he really kind of taught me the ropes of, okay, here's how the district office runs. Here's the value to the agents. Here's the value to the customers. And we just have such a unique value proposition that somebody can come right in to an agency and grow from there. So taking that pathway to eventually becoming a district manager myself here has been pretty cool. And it's been a neat journey to see all the agents that I've worked with along the way.
You want to know something? You're the second insurance person I like. Not many of them out there that I really, really like, because you just don't know their intentions. I mean, right. I'm not doing necessarily business with you like you're. I mean, maybe that happens at some point if I become a farmer or something. But why do you think insurance agents get that name of? They're not quite car dealers, but they're maybe a little bit down the line a little bit.
Well, I think it's almost in any industry in sales, right? So you take a car salesman and you take an insurance salesman, phone salesman, whatever it is. When you hear the word sales, you think sense of urgency and you think somebody trying to push you into something. Where I think the best salespeople create the need. They let the person create the urgency. You set it. You set the table for them. You say, "Here, this is the coverage you should have. This is why you should have it."
They let the person create it.
Good.
I thought I muted it.
No, how good.
Apparently, she wants to listen to what we said 5 seconds ago.
I was trying to make a watch party.
Continue.
Hey, it's live.
Thank
live.
you for that.
The best agents.
I was going to say, I even forgot what we were saying.
And that's kind of what separates us from different companies, right? So we have advisors that really help people and advise them on what type of insurance they have. That is an awesome value proposition that Farmers has to customers, not just being agents. And that agent truly earns their living each day, making sure the financial assets of somebody is covered.
So tell us a little bit about. I mean, we've seen all the commercials with the old guy with the glasses and Farmers, and I can't quite do that. I'm not good at those kind of things. But what's the company like? Is it a franchise? I mean, you kind of explained it a little bit, but is it almost like a franchisee where you can buy in? Is it just one corporate ladder? Like, explain the structure of the business for people.
No, I'm glad you're hitting on that. So it's a small business opportunity. We're not a franchise because our agency owners don't pay franchise fees. We're strictly small business owners. They have the support of Farmers, which is unique. So you have this big, huge brand behind you, right? Like you would in a franchise, but you're not necessarily paying to use that logo every time and all that. They have the systems and processes. They have the training. So we actually have a University of Farmers.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of all that, you go in and you have districts on top of that. So districts really help the agent in their first 3 years, if you will, get out to a fast start, help veteran agents kind of mold their and tweak the nuances of their agency to get where they want to go.
What's the punchline though? How does Farmers Insurance make the money? You guys make money, but they also make the money. So you go out and you sell me $1,000 with an insurance. How much is in your pocket? How much goes into Farmers?
So there's a percentage that goes to the agent, percentage for district, but at the end of the day, it's like any insurance company. It's divvied up to how they operate.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
I feel great because I really think our agents earn it as advisors. And I always say an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And you look at what our agents do every day, they are that ounce of prevention. So somebody paying a little bit more, or even a lot of times we save people money for that quote unquote disaster that happens. It becomes a bad day instead of a bad life.
Okay. So, well, you talked a little bit about the structure.
Mhm.
Keith is here. You got a couple of people in the front lines, right? That are actually agents, correct?
Absolutely.
Who's above you then?
So we have our corporate structure. So we have our area sales managers, and we have our market leaders. So they're awesome. They really help support the districts. They give us a lot of information to kind of help us refine our processes. And then they're usually experienced people themselves, coming from either district models, agencies, or so on, and they can kind of share some insight. Like I talked to a guy, Jeff, the other day that gave me some great insight on how to show the finer points of our retail program. So our retail program helps agents start from scratch, which sounds daunting, but truly with the amount of incentive they have, it can be highly lucrative.
Well, and it's just like probably sitting down as a freshman in college and just learning everything that you need to about Farmers Insurance, their corporate structure, their philosophy, their values, their morals. And then as you learn it, then you just kind of graduate, right? You just continue to kind of go on and on and on of where you can eventually go from where you started. You were producer to whatever the heck else you were, to an agent, and now you're wearing ties and kissing babies.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the cool thing too, is like I started, if you want to get real technical, I was a telemarketer before even producer.
Give me your telemarketer voice.
Oh shoot, I don't know.
It's
That's
not like some weird sexy voices. You don't change your voice like some news people do.
Well, I can talk like this.
See?
Oh,
Scared the crap out of me. If you have some weird person in your basement at 2:00 in the morning, you might be Keith Collins.
Oh geez.
That's not bad. See, if I change this is my voice all the time. Then people would ask me, hey, do you change your voice when you go on the news or do weather? I'm like, why would I change my voice? But people do.
Right.
You don't do that, do you?
No, it's more about sense of urgency. So you want to know that usually when you're making a sale, usually whatever you're selling, somebody initially doesn't want to necessarily be on the phone with you to make that sale, right?
Yeah.
Because they feel like you're pushing something. So the speed of whatever I'm talking about goes a little bit faster. But then I also make sure I'm a little bit more positive. So, because you got to have a lot of people say you got to smile into a mirror. I'm just like, think of something positive before you're calling, make a game out of it, make a bingo. Because if you're just dialing 100 times, you can beat yourself senseless with rejection. Where if you have fun with it, it can be a little bit more.
So this is a serious
palatable
question. Oh, you got someone calling. You
Oh
want to
shit!
answer that?
No. Okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, we can stop the
you
podcast.
can answer it.
Oh no,
Fine.
it's all good.
Someone will call back. I've done that on air too. I've just answered phones. Like my mom actually called me one time. I'm like, Mom, I'm actually in the middle of a weathercast. What? You're what? Chris?
Say hi to everybody.
That's pretty much what my mom does. What's your celebration like after you get a sale? And don't be modest.
Well, so sale now is different than a sale back then, right?
Celebration. I want to know what you do.
I think I'm probably methodical. Like you probably listen to a Nick Saban, a Bill Belichick. I'm on to the next year,
No
on to the
happy
next.
dance?
No happy
I
dance?
don't-
You're not doing a little bit
I mean,
of
you
this?
gotta be like,
Yeah.
I
no?
don't really, because like my thing was never, okay, I want to sell one policy, or I want to help one person's career. I want to help 100. I want to grow a huge agency, those type of things. So it might be bad and maybe mental health or whatever, but I was always so focused on the big picture of things that it was on to the next thing. Very little celebration. There's little tidbits along the way,
Let
but
me ask you this then. All right. Let's ask me if I want some insurance.
you want some insurance?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
That's see, you got a little bit of a smile. Like, all right. Who's that from? That's from Family Guy. What's that?
I didn't watch that.
You
show.
watch Family Guy?
Stupid.
I thought it was Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, that actually could be
love
too.
it.
Well, I'm sure most women.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah. All right. That's from Family Guy. That's
Matthew McConaughey does it on his private YouTube page all the time.
yeah, but this was back in like the late '90s, early 2000s. This was going on Family
So-
Guy. So Matthew McConaughey.
While you were in high school?
Might be Quagmire.
I was actually in high school back in the '90s and early 2000s. How old are you, by the way?
29.
See, he was probably in middle school. What were you in '99, 2000? I was.
7, 8.
Jeez. What were you?
We're not talking about that.
College?
We're not
Jeez.
talking about that.
All right, quarter after. Just gonna do just a quick little break here. We're not gonna stop or anything like that, but I want you to gain your composure. You want to get a drink of water or something?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. So we are doing a live podcast. Our Mavericks, influential, inspiring leaders. We're here with Keith Collins II. He's with Farmers Insurance, now a district manager, now a Nelson Media Company client, and we're going to do a little bit of work as well. I don't want to give everything away. But you kind of gave me a really great idea of, and I'm supposed to be the guy that coming up with the ideas, but you kind of gave me some cool ideas of what we might be working in the future. You want to talk a little bit about that? You don't have to give everything away.
Well, I'll kind of tease it. So, and to kind of build you up too. So I think marketing is so underrated in just the world of business entirely. I think it's
Say
probably
that one more time.
marketing is the most underrated. And I'll say it to anybody, because any business, you can have the best product in the world, you can have the best people in the world, but unless people know about it, it's not going to happen. So I go one step farther and to say it's the art of storytelling in the best degree, right? So what you do is very important in telling the stories of other people and their businesses. Because if you're selling a pizza, you want to make it the best pizza. How does that pizza stand out?
I like Rocky Rococo pizza, but that's just me. Have you ever had that yet?
I haven't.
What's it called?
Rocky Rococo.
What is that?
It's a pizza.
But like, is it a restaurant or?
Sort of.
Where?
Yeah. Look it up. Actually, pop it up and then do a double screen with the Rocky Rococo. We'll talk about it.
They're getting free pub. You got to get them on as a client.
You know what? I'm thinking about it. So back in the day, and yes, you were probably not that old at that time, but mid 80s, late 80s, what were you at the mid to late 80s? You were still in school.
Double digits though.
Yes, I was young, and we all lived in Madison, Wisconsin. I grew up in Green Bay, and my parents, for something special, they would, on Fridays when my dad came home from work, believe it or not, Pizza Hut, he would pick up Rocky Rococo pizza for my parents, mom and dad, and us, and it just reminds me of childhood, and it's delicious pizza. They have the biggest, sausages are like this, square pizza, and it has the best sauce in the world. And I've had other pizzas that are pretty good, but this is just something unique. I think it brings you back to your childhood.
Oh, absolutely. That was one thing I suffered in St. Louis, and I love St. Louis, but what they consider pizza is not pizza. It's a whole different.
Well, you came from New York, so I mean, not that you came from New York City, but you came from New York.
Oh, but anywhere in the country, if you go to St. Louis, so even if you went from Rochester to St. Louis right now, their pizza's flat. And then on top of that, they use a different cheese called Provel cheese. And anybody in St. Louis watching this would laugh, but it's a mixture of provolone and mozzarella, and it's like a tangy cheese. And so what they consider pizza is like a flatbread with tangy cheese, and it shouldn't be in the realm of pizza. And I'm not saying that because I hate it, but more
like
so
a flatbread, right?
it's a flatbread and it tastes different. So we almost joke it's like cheese on a cracker, if you will. Like.
I don't know how to get it to share the screen.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Oh, I can't get up right now. We'll have to show you after.
But I found it.
Okay, if you go down to share, go down to the share on the bottom.
Yeah.
Click share, and then it should say like page share.
Share screen.
Yep, share screen. And then go to like a tab. There should be a tab available.
No.
Let's take a look here. Share screen.
Yep.
There you go. Click on that. We have to show this. It's delicious pizza, but I think, okay, so when I lived in Milwaukee, it was all about thin crust pizza.
Mm-hmm.
New York
We're gonna
is
do this so that they can
what?
see
Like you
I
fold
need
it in
you guys
half
to see it.
and you eat it?
It depends where you were. So I grew up in a very heavily Italian / Polish community. So they had a lot of different pizzas.
Italian and Polish.
Pizza's
Oh, yeah.
not even the right shape.
It's square. It's delicious though. I feel like
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to go to La Crosse and go get some. Someone from La Crosse, if you're watching, bring it here and I'll give you $20. I should probably give more than that.
There you go.
Continue. You were talking about pizza.
Oh, just the difference, because we had a town probably, want to say, 2,000 people, and they'd have 5 pizza shops.
Yeah, 5?
Yeah, they'd have 5 pizza shops, 1 gas station, and no traffic lights. And
Does anyone eat at home, or is it just they go for pizza for dinner every night?
You either go to Pizza Hut or not pizza, one of these pizza places, because Pizza Hut was usually a whiles away. And that's one of the things when I got down to where I'm at now is Walmart's right around the corner right now, right? I think it's like 90% of the population has one within 15 minutes of them. Mm-hmm. We had to drive half an hour to Walmart, and that was like a big thing that we were getting it within like an hour.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's another interesting thing with Walmart. I'm not going to probably get on that, but I mean, how they have like just completely saturated the market. But things have changed.
Right.
I mean, 10 years ago, it was Walmart. Their stock was increasing, but what is Walmart doing now? They're losing to places like Amazon, and they're going to be losing to some of these greener companies like Apple and so on and so forth that are going to be going into that retail realm. But that's a whole nother topic. Family.
Yep.
You got a family here. You moved from St. Louis to Rochester. What was the main reason you did that? For the job? For the job.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a tremendous opportunity. I think the 2 best opportunities in farmers are agent and district manager.
So you went from agent to district manager pretty quickly. You're 29.
Yeah,
what do they call those people? Wanderlust people, or you're just
Wanderlust?
Yeah. I think that's what it's called.
Wanderlust is no.
Look that up.
Wanderlust is on my studio window.
Yeah, I think it's a person that's
to travel
really,
and adventure.
Yeah, it's Wanderlust then. It's a person that's like young and is succeeding a lot quickly.
Well, and it's weird because it doesn't even feel like that, because I've wanted the district manager role since like 23, 24, when I like really learned what it entailed. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to chase. And 2-3 years into it, I'm like, oh, okay, this might not happen. Like, and here we are 2-3 more.
You're young too. You're just ambitious, and you're like, I want to get there.
Oh yeah.
So the family, they moved with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you have like 6 kids already. You're 29.
No,
you moved quick.
2. One's 1, and one's about to turn 4 in June here. So, and then
a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Yep. Or well, almost 4. She's and then I have my wonderful wife who does the heavy lifting on the home front.
Jesus, is she watching this?
If she does, I hope to score the brownie points.
I think you did. So she's doing all the hard work at home while you're.
Women everywhere appreciate that statement.
Oh,
she's gonna get a bunch of like hearts on that comment, and here I'm looking like the jerk asking the question.
Oh no, well no, she literally does, because anybody that's had high energy toddlers, and I like to think our kids are good, but any well-behaved kid's still going to be a handful.
Are you having more kids, or are you done with 2?
So she wants 3, I want 2, so probably compromise and have 3.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff. Your oldest is going to be 4?
She's going to be 4 soon.
When is she turning 4?
June.
Okay. So my son just turned 4.
Gotcha.
You hear that, Jack? I might have something for you in about 12 years. Don't get any ideas. Yeah, so you like Rochester so far?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and I live in Owatonna, so I get kind of the best of both communities, both working here and being there. And I'm really trying to expand our whole footprint alongside all of southern Minnesota, so out to places we don't really have a lot of agents, like Pipestone, Laverne, Slayton, because those are just tremendous opportunities for whoever's going to start agencies there.
And see, each spot, obviously, within Farmers has a territory. And your territory goes from Winona all the way to the border of the Dakotas.
Yeah.
Right at the eastern side of the Dakotas, right?
The best way to describe it is if you drew a line from Red Wing across the state, everything below that line is our district.
Okay.
So, and where we'd place agencies.
So where are you focusing a lot of your work right now? And I know that's a very broad question, but as a district manager, you got lots going on. So is there a certain town that you're focusing on from a demographic standpoint? Is there a certain, from a business standpoint, are you focusing on marketing or outreach or sales, or is it just a combination of pretty much trying to tackle everything at once?
So I think my biggest focus is bringing on an agent that has a team behind them. And when I say that, it used to be the old model of an insurance company to just bring somebody on. They build up their own business by themselves, and hopefully it works out, right? But my philosophy is really, I want to bring somebody on. I want them to have 3 or 4 staff day one to be prepared to get these awesome bonuses that Farmers has in front of them.
You want to give us a little hint at what kind of bonuses? Can you talk about that?
So in the first year, they give them 4 times the commissions if they're on track. $5,000 in a sign-on bonus, up to $6,000 in a sign reimbursement. So if they did exterior branding, like you see a lot of times the strip mall, those nice signs, monument signs, those are reimbursable up to $6,000, and then they do $500 a month in marketing.
Okay.
So that they could use a Nelson Meeting Company. So then,
that's where the money came from. It's good stuff.
well, taking to the fact all that, really, I focus on the 4 times commissions, right? Because that's what you can control at the end of the day. The rest of those numbers are static, but somebody can absolutely come in there and go gangbuster if they have a team behind them. But I know I'm not doing them justice if I bring in 1 person, and even with 2 staff, I like them to have 3 or 4 because I know they have a team and a business behind them, rather than it become a sales representative opportunity.
So I just want to make sure we have this figured out. So district manager, you have the goal is to for each district manager, how many agents? Does it matter?
It
could be 5,
differs.
It could be 6, it could be 10. Right?
Well, we have goals, but really I really focus more on the quality of agent, because that's how a district grows, that's how an agency grows, and we're not doing anybody a favor if we put them in a bad spot, right? If insurance is not a good fit, I want to know way before they sign their name on a contract saying, I want to be an insurance agent.
Yeah.
Because essentially at that point you're lying, right? Where if I find somebody that's able to be a good business owner, they have the team behind them, and they're able to manage their business at the end of the day.
I know I'm popular, but apparently these 2 are just getting phone calls.
Shoot. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for business owners, not necessarily sales reps, because I believe a sales rep can do very well in this industry. But I feel unless that's all they want to do for the rest of time, that's there can be a certain level of burnout being a sales rep. A business owner, there's always new challenges, there's new tweaks, and it can gain you a lot of freedom over time, a lot of financial freedom, a lot of freedom of your lifestyle. So,
and then each agent, how many people work with the agent?
So that is all. So our existing agents, it's all decided by them. So they're independent contractors at the end of the day. Now, to qualify for certain incentives, there's staffing requirements. So it's based on the size of their agency. But really, at the end of the day, my goal is not to convince them. It is to show them here's why staff and building a team is so important.
I have a question. So you have this 507 area Facebook page.
Yep.
Talk about that just for a minute.
Yeah, so that's something I started because I fell in love with the community, and I saw that the 507 area code coincides a lot with our district. Mm-hmm. And really what I wanted to do is really better all the communities, and whether Farmers is a good fit or not for them, at the same time they see the difference Farmers is making in these communities. Because I can tell you, I have an agent like Yanellis, an agent like Chris Willer out in Mankato, and so on. Like, there's so many agents that just give back to their community and give it in such a way that they're not marketing themselves here. I wrote a big check. They're just doing it because they're members of the community. So that's honestly who I like to meet too. I'd like to meet members of the communities that I've kind of listed before, because those are going to be the best people. They're going to own businesses in those communities, and they're going to give back to those communities.
4:30 our time right now, and we're talking to Keith Collins, number 2, now the second. Better not say number 2. Number 2 could be taken on a contract.
Oh, geez.
From Farmers Insurance, we're here in Rochester now. We're working together as clients and doing some fun ideas as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about some of the stuff that we're thinking about doing, and hopefully in the next month you're going to see some of our ideas, because we were kind of brainstorming of what we were going to do, and then you and I were talking earlier. You had a much bigger idea, and I'm like really excited for this. So just a little bit of a tease factor here. Tell me a little bit about your growth, how you grew up, why you decided to get into insurance, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Oh,
Why?
oh, geez.
Like you're sitting there with no pants on.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry, folks.
No pants podcast.
That's how we do the podcast now.
Jeez.
No pants.
Oh,
You
but
never know if Keith has any pants on.
I can affirm I have pants on.
Well, it's funny because these are the first time I put these shorts on since last year, and I swear since they were sitting on the laundry basket, they got a little smaller.
Oh shoot. Oh.
See? I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it's like painted onto my leg.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be. I don't know. I could pull that off.
Uncomfortable right now?
No,
Well,
shoot.
Good thing you can't see anything under here.
Oh geez.
All right, so talk a little bit about your childhood, your dreams. I'm sure just like you and I, we wanted to be NFL football players or Major League Baseball players.
Wanted to be running back for
Did
the
you?
San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
That
Why the San Diego Chargers? Now
So-
they're LA, and who knows what they're going to be now? They'll probably be Billings, Montana. Who knows where the owner's going to go? But yeah, talk to me a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah, so grew up small town. Everybody knew everybody, so there was no secrets. And I thought, okay, like going through school, everybody wants to be a sports player. Getting to college, I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist. That was what I was thinking I was going to do with my life. So went to nursing school.
Which is, by the way, one of the most challenging bachelor's degree to get.
Oh, there's saints too. That it takes a special type of person because I got in there and I saw many nurses just break down, and people don't realize what a mental toll it takes on them, and that there's only so much you can do from a medical standpoint. You're limited by whatever medical capacity there is for medicine, right? If you will. So seeing that, it's like I'm always like, okay, how can I take this one step farther, and it just drove me insane in the nursing field. So got into sales. That's when I got into car sales, and while I was doing car sales, I was trying to figure out really what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't really want to be a car salesman my whole life because I saw some of the lifestyles and I was like, oh man, this is.
What are some of the lifestyles, like fast cars, women? What?
No, it was more so. There when you get in the car industry, unless you can thread the needle on a certain position many times, there wasn't a lot of career progression. It was just, and this is one thing I'm glad for an insurance person. You sell one car year one, year two, you have to sell that same amount of cars to make the same income. Where in insurance, if I sell 100 policies this year and I keep 70 year over year or 80, however many you want to say on retention, I start out with 80 next year and I start with that income plus the next 100 that I sell. So you build an agency off that. And that was really appealing to me when I got into insurance.
That's how all cars, that's how it works. Like if I sell 25, if I don't sell 25 the second year, you're not making any commission.
So where I was at, there was bonuses on the volume that you sold. So you'd have to sell 25 again to get that big bonus or whatever.
So it could be crap cars. I could just go and bring in like a $250 car and say, hey, Billy, over there, I'll give you $300 if you buy this.
Well, and then the other portion of it was the quality of sales. So they always have that survey at the end, right? So they say, hey, can you give me a 10? Like you kind of have to almost beg for that 10 on the surveys.
It's a horrible philosophy.
Because anything less than a 10 is a 0.
Anything less will be uncivilized.
Yeah, so God bless all the car salesmen out there. It's a tough industry to be in.
I suppose. My last experience, I bought a vehicle, and I'm not going to tell you where or what it is, but it rhymes with Kobaru. I had a really good experience. I did, and even when I go back for oil changes, the best part about going back for oil changes at this place that I tried riding before, and I'm not going to try it again. You get everything for free when you walk in. They have all these goodies. So you get like sun chips, you get crackers. It's like that. I don't think they have sausage or anything like that. They don't get that crazy. They don't have a waiter or waitress.
They don't have the greatest coffee though.
Oh, see. Then you can have like mocha,
You did
cappuccino.
say it was the only one you liked. You usually don't like those.
The one day I was there for about 2.5 hours. Guess what Chris Nelson did? He tried every single one. I took a sip. The guy next to me is like, "What is this Yahoo doing?" I'm like, "You got a problem?" I didn't say that. It's got no fight.
But they build that.
Kobaru.
They build that overhead in the car. So the nicer the place that you buy the car from, the higher the car price is, right?
Totally agree. But I'll tell you what, when I'm there, I feel like I'm a champion. And it's probably the cheapest coffee in the world. Yeah, the coffee's not great, but I felt good. And that's all that matters to me.
And that's at the end of the day what you want for customers.
I think so too. Yeah, doesn't he sound a little corporate? Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well,
Do me a favor. Untie your tie a little bit.
Untie? Oh, it's a zipper.
I said that a while ago. That's okay. You can take
It's a zipper?
Nobody cares.
Oh, that's good. Hey, I
That's-
can teach you how
That's
to.
actually smart.
Oh yeah, because I can zip it on right at a
It's a nice
moment's
tie.
notice. Thank you.
It's got a. What kind of watch you wearing?
Apple. And this is for Pokemon Go.
It's for what?
Pokemon Go.
You don't play Pokemon Go.
I've never played it my entire life. I'm an adult. Kidding. I'm teasing. I'm
Yeah, you
teasing.
are.
Oh shoot.
Let's do a little update with Keith Collins II, Farmers Insurance District Manager.
Yep.
You worked yourself up pretty quickly, didn't you, my friend?
Tried to.
Yeah. All right.
Cinderella is actually the closest term for your definition.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
I was looking at it last night, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I can talk about this with Keith. It's like,
Wanderlust is a need or a desire to travel.
no, that's not it.
That's what that means.
That's a different word. We're going to do a quick little question
Okay.
spot. I'll ask you a bunch of questions. It won't be anything too intense. Hopefully not.
All right.
You gotta answer them all, though.
Truthfully. No.
All
The
right.
button.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you one that you don't have to answer. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. Number one, when was the last time you went on a date with a wife?
Alone, probably a month or two before we came here, so probably around Christmas time. But we go on the weekends with our kids. So
The last date, and don't get too specific here. The last date that it's just you two. What did you guys do?
we definitely went out to eat. Probably relaxed. Probably somewhere like Fridays or Applebee's. Something low key.
Good stuff there. There's no way if you keep bringing her Applebee's, you're gonna have a third kid. You got a
You
whiner.
better up that a little bit.
Bring
Take
her-
her to 5
Oh,
West.
I'm
Take her to 5 West.
So if she's listening, she knows I love Five West,
Five
and
West is the bomb.
and we go there a bunch.
Just with the kids.
We usually always have the kids with us, especially since we moved here.
You want a babysitter?
Always looking for babysitters.
Would you let me babysit your kids?
Possibly.
Don't do that. I can barely babysit Jack. No, I can't. Favorite Christmas gift that you ever received?
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you. I like to call myself a journalist.
I'd probably have to say the Nintendo Switch or it wasn't a Switch, it was a Game Boy. Because this is going back a ways.
It's
And it was-
in the 90s.
It was supposed to be labeled for my brother, and my parents accidentally put the label on for me, and I was like, yes, this is awesome.
So you got the wrong gift.
It's got the wrong gift, and then he ended up getting a Game Boy so we could play together. So it
Did you
was,
cry?
oh no, because they didn't take it away.
Oh, they didn't. So he just got you another one.
Yeah, well, they got my brother one. So I was like, oh, this is neat. Like, I got a Game Boy for Christmas.
My parents never would have done that. They'd have been like, hey, that's Jake's. Get your hands off of it. And I would have been like, all right. Drinks. You go out to a pub or a tavern or whatever the heck you call it in southern Minnesota or Iowa. Yeah, it's called tavern. What are you drinking?
So anybody like that would know me from St. Louis would say Long Island iced tea. That was always my drink of choice, and I retired from those, and
You.
I'm just I drink wine now, so I'm like either wine, Merlot, Chardonnay, because it's definitely healthier and a lot more relaxed.
Safer.
Yeah.
Probably safer.
Oh yeah. No.
That's the best word there. You're drinking Long Island iced teas? Jeez. You're
Yeah.
like crawling out of there.
Oh, there's many a day that I drink many long.
I think we were
But-
both there at one point too. Coffee preference. We didn't bring you any.
No,
and,
it's all good.
I'll just blame Christina for that one.
No, I my wife's big into like different flavors and everything. I'm just like black coffee, cream, some sugar Splenda,
Okay.
and that's usually from there. I can't drink it black though. It's just I don't know.
You don't have that kind of intensity?
No, I haven't lost my sense of
As we-
smell or taste.
As we both sit here and drink black coffee.
No, that's the way to go if you can do it. I for whatever reason I
love
can't
the
do it
flavor.
repeatedly.
No? What does it do to you?
I just
Put you on your behind or what?
no. It'll just sit there and get cold because I won't.
But it tastes delicious when it's cold. I mean, it's great when it's hot, but it's even better
I
cold.
don't like it cold.
No?
No, I have to heat it up.
But see,
Yeah.
But if I have some half and half in there, I'll go after even hot or cold. I'll just drink the whole thing.
Okay. Are you a worker outer or are you a couch potato?
Definitely couch potato nowadays.
Yeah.
I actually used to run cross country. I was captain of a cross country team
Okay.
back in the day, but that was 10 years ago.
Well, now you're working a lot though. What kind of hours you putting in?
Oh, half days, 7 to 7.
That's a half day.
And then
Half a day.
I guess it is.
12 hours.
I guess.
yeah, no, one of the best agents I've ever met. He said you can work half days. You just got to pick which half you work, and it was true. And I mean, I've established more of a work-life balance now that I have my kids. Like I'll peel back an hour or two, like during the weekdays, and definitely reserve the weekends for them. But for the most part, I'm like, and especially back when we were in St. Louis, I was just go.
What was fun in St. Louis that you did? What's your biggest memory in St. Louis?
Mm,
Can't say the Arch because that is a stupid thing.
Not the Arch isn't really that fun.
No, I mean it's just something to look at. And it's cool to see for the first time, but
Well, and when you go up in it, so you can go in it and look at the city. But I mean, 360 rooftop bar there is good. I'd say the best experience I've ever had was the Winter Classic in Busch Stadium there.
okay.
That experience, because I got to see Keith Kachuk, I got to see famous radio personality right in front of me and his wife. So we got to see those guys, and then we're watching Wayne Gretzky, Martin
Oh,
Brodeur,
that's cool.
like just saw the alumni game, and then we got to see, and we had pretty good seats. So back then, when it was tough to come by $800, I'm glad I did, because like that
That's
that
funny to look
experience.
back.
Oh yeah, I was scrounged for that, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna.
Take all the
Like-
singles you get, and they're all like scrummed up in your pocket and your sock. Did you ever keep money in your sock, by the way?
Never sock. I always kept it in like a, of all things, like I call it an art box because that's what I equate it to, but like a box where you put art supplies back in the day.
Oh,
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. What is that thing called?
A caboodle or a makeup case. That's
No,
what
it
we did.
had like bumps on the top, and then you
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and
That's
so
a
like
name.
I always just threw pencils and pens in there,
and then your money
A
too.
pencil box.
Right.
No, it was a brand. I couldn't think of what the brand was called, but it,
Yeah.
it had literally, you know what I'm talking about, like the bumps. It was.
Oh yeah,
It was like this big by this. It was.
yeah, like a.
Must have been a rich kid thing.
I don't think so. Maybe. I definitely was not rich. I lived in a trailer for 6 years.
Oh geez.
Definitely not. Where would you go on vacation? You could go anywhere in the continental United States. Where would you go?
So this is gonna sound really bad, but Disney since COVID is amazing. So taken into effect
You brought the kids to Disney?
during the pandemic.
Wow.
So it's awesome though, because think of it, there's less lines. You have to reserve your stay in this park. You're probably safer now in the parks than ever before, right? So
Mhm.
everybody's wearing a mask. They're really good about it and everything. On top of that, like, I'm not gonna say anything's cheaper because that wouldn't be.
Nice. I mean,
the
what is
case.
it to get into Disney?
I don't know.
No.
I was there the day they
$6,000.
shut down.
I was down in Tampa and that first week, and I think the first week of March, and I think when they shut down, like
I was actually there the
A
day
week?
they closed.
yeah, I'd still look back at that and like how
They
did
were
we get through all that
amazing
stuff?
then, though. They were amazing. As soon as
Oh, yeah.
we got down there, they had hand sanitizing stations everywhere. Everybody was masking. It was.
It better be
immediate.
for $400 a ticket. I mean, how much did you pay? Do you
I don't
remember?
know because we went on I was chaperoning for a high school trip, so it was like $1,700 a person for our trip.
Oh geez, yeah,
That included our airline tickets and.
yeah. That it was awesome there because it was even more systematized, less wait for things, not like cleaner park, if you will. And then the nice part is getting to enjoy it with my two daughters. Them getting to. My one's finally cognizant of everything, and she's like going on mission space and all these I almost called fast track, test track, and all them. So like seeing her get to enjoy those for the first time was kind of cool.
It's kind of a good feeling. Well, the other one is probably just napping though.
Oh yeah, it's good. She's like me. She gets sunburnt. She's like, why are we out in the sun?
Huh? Is your wife darker?
No. She's
Not like darker, but I'm saying like can she get
more
a tan?
olive skin.
Yeah.
No, she's fair skinned like me, but she doesn't burn as easy. Me and my youngest daughter, we definitely
You layer it
burn
on.
in the sun. So we went out for a walk this weekend and we're both sunburnt
You got a little tint of red to your face.
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean not that much. If you're cooking the wife dinner, what are you making her?
Well, my cooking abilities limit that, so
Do you
probably
barbecue?
I can't say that I do.
Do you make eggs?
Make eggs.
Okay. What do
Make some
you
good-
what do you throw on there for eggs? You scramble it? You
Some feta, some peppers,
okay?
I can do omelets, and Jamie will probably laugh if she ever hears this, but like I would try to flip it into an omelet, it never works. So it's like basically scrambled eggs with a bunch of stuff in it.
They
But
call it a frittata.
right.
Yeah, that's
That's a frittata.
That's- at least you're making something.
Right. And I can't say that because with my schedule and her handling the kids most of the time, it's hard for either of us to cook on a
Well,
regular basis.
What are you guys eating during the day?
I'm eating on the run. I know of that. And I'm sure she's probably doing the same because we got our youngest going to preschool, and then how it's set up, and nothing in its preschools, but like they have odd hours. So it's like 9 to 11 or 1 some days. So it's like, okay, by the time you get home, you're waiting just a half hour, an hour to go back and pick them up.
Yeah, my parents, when my brother was born, I was in kindergarten, and my parents almost left me at school when they brought Jake home. That was pretty much like a symbol of the way the rest of my life went with my brother.
I
Oh,
rode the
geez.
bus.
They told me to ride the bus, and then they picked me up at a different location. And yeah, it's like they were trying to get rid of me. They only wanted one kid the whole
I
time.
rode the bus to my great grandma's house,
Yeah.
and then we would have to call my mom and tell her where I was.
Oh, geez.
Great grandmas are good people. Do you ever have any great grandmas?
Had two good grandmas. Well, I had 3 for a while because my great grandmother Norma,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Explain that one.
great grandmother and two grandmas.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And I had a great grandfather actually born on the same birthday, so it was cool sharing it with
You
him.
got some weird things going on between your dad and your great grandpa and your grandpa. You got Bud and
Well, so he was actually my great grandfather on my father's side,
okay.
and this was my father's mother's side. Was my great grandfather sharing the same birthday? So he was named Abe, but his real name was Dwayne. But they always called him Honest Abe because very honest, good person.
Ugly too.
Jeez.
Did he wear a top hat?
Yeah.
No. He worked on the railroads for a while.
We need
That's-
those kind of people.
He's a veteran, so did a lot of cool things.
Any criminals in your family? True story.
My sister might be a future one.
Your sister?
Yeah, my sister's adopted from Ukraine. And nothing against Ukraine.
Well, Russia doesn't like him, so
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole I won't go down. But
thank you. I won't ask you about anything political or religious.
no, not yet. No, my sister's good. But if I had to pay, if we're playing in who's most likely, that's the superlative probably.
So, why are you suspicious of her? Like some type of spy or something?
She would blame some stuff on my brother that you just can't blame on other brothers.
Like
Just random things.
you don't want to get into it, do you?
No, not.
He's afraid of her.
Are you scared of her?
Can't say I'm afraid of her, but
He hesitated.
Yeah. You're scaring me now. She's not going to watch us and come after me, is she?
well, she's graduating high school in June.
Oh,
Give you
she's
context. Yeah.
Those are the ones you got to be careful of. You can't do anything to them because they're, well, 1, they're female, and 2, they're young. It's like they can come at you with a sword, and what are you going to do? Like, oh, please cut my arm off.
Oh, but I say that in the same fact that she could be like an Instagram superstar tomorrow or something. Like she follows a lot of the stuff that I don't follow in pop culture. So like she'll reference somebody and be like, I don't know
Like
who that
Lady
is.
Gaga or something beyond that.
No, she's like big into a band called Why Don't We, and I didn't even know it was a band. I'm like,
That's kind of a cool name.
isn't that like a question?
Christina's going to look it up. Look it up and put it on our page. We got to take a look at this.
Oh, I was like, but what question are you asking me? And I'm like,
Why
what?
don't we what?
Yeah, like what is
Why
this?
don't we go for some tea? Why don't we have some drugs? Why don't we go after the Russians?
So yeah, she was big into that band and a bunch of other ones like Juice World, and I knew of Juice World, but
What does it say?
It looks pretty cool. They look a little
Maybe it's Keith we have to be suspicious of.
oh jeez.
they look a little
Punk rock?
2020s boy bandish.
Okay.
That's what I've gathered from it too. Yeah, it's
Think NSYNC and Backstreet Boys meets 2020.
probably a little
So
younger.
they're a little tattooed, a little permed hair, mostly clean cut.
Think like the evolution of the Jonas Brothers type deal.
All right. I can see that. Any weird haircuts in your life?
I've had a mohawk before.
Did you? I could see you with a mullet for some reason.
No, not a mullet.
No, I know, but I
Okay.
could see you with a mullet.
Yeah, I don't want to start I had a mullet once. I didn't.
Did your Liberty spike your mohawk?
Always spiked the mohawk. I had it where I shaved the sides of my head and I would have it like pointed up like this, like a faux hawk too. So
What did the Ukrainian think about this?
well, wasn't, I guess. Yeah, she was too young. So like my mom was definitely not a fan of it because it was like my high school years, like probably 14 through 18 that I did that. So I'm doing that at the same time as I was doing like a nurse internship. And so like I'm walking in some of these
Mohawk guy, come and take
Yeah.
some blood, all right?
But it was funny because like I had to qualify for that. So like on paper, if they're just looking at my resume, they're like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And then like I get in there and they're like, "What is this?"
What is this Fruit Loop doing here? That's still, I think that's still kind of cool though.
I did enjoy it rocking it. It was just I grew past it.
I had in high school, just to tick off my coach, I went completely blonde, and he made me run for probably 20. Like, remember build-ups?
Yeah.
You'd have to do like free throw line, half court, three
Mhm.
quarters, all the way. I think he made me do that for 20 minutes. He's like, "You gonna dye your hair again?" I'm like, "No, I don't think I'm gonna have to until after the season." Yeah, he wasn't very happy. 10 more minutes we got. Now we'll probably cut it short a little bit.
Good deal.
Just for people that are jumping on here, or if they didn't see any of this, we have Keith Collins II with Farmers Insurance on Mavericks podcast, talking all kinds of things. You probably didn't realize that we were going to talk about all this.
This is fun.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So make sure, let's do a couple of plugs. How can we find you on the old internet, World Wide Web? Where can we find you on Facebook? Where can we find you in Rochester or Southern Minnesota?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, really all the different platforms that there are. Because I really believe you got to have a digital presence. It just matters as much as, because really, if you think about it today, I can go market door to door, but the effectiveness of that versus being on, everybody has one of these within arm's length and they're always on it. That's how you market nowadays.
Yeah, and what I tell certain clients, and some of the clients, if they watch this, are gonna be like, "I heard that speech before," but I mean, you're having someone watch at least a 2-minute video almost 90% of the time. If you have a device, 90% of the people out there are watching at least a 2-minute video, and every single day, 62% of people are actually watching a 30-second clip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're almost at 2/3 of people out there, which is remarkable. And here's another thing to think, keep in mind. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I mean, remember 2000 to 2010, these came about.
Mm-hmm.
2010 and 2020, we blew up with social media. In 2020 and thereon, I think for this decade, it's going to be about the streaming. It's going to be all about digital within the apps. And we're kind of like, we continue to narrow things down. So I think you're on the right path.
Oh, it's an attention game. You look at how YouTube and Facebook have their things formatted, right? So you look at YouTube, people go down the YouTube rabbit hole. How do they do it? Well, it's the recommended channels, and they're basically selling your information to get you to watch the next video and the next video. And same with Facebook, their algorithms are, okay, you spent 5 seconds looking at this ad, so you're more likely to go on this ad next time. And they remarket to you. And I just find that fascinating because when you don't have a product that you're paying for, you are the product.
You know, it's funny too. Anyone that's watching this, and including us, we're sitting here, we're all going to end up with Farmers Insurance ads on our phone because our phones are listening to us.
I already get them because I follow him.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just nonstop. I'm like, I've already followed them. You don't have to ask them for sponsors. It's ridiculous. Last thoughts. Anything else you want people to remember you by besides the mullet
No, geez.
or the uranium?
Mohawk.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Do you like your sister, by the way?
Oh, I love her. She's great. I love my brother too. He's down in Savannah, Georgia, working on planes. Just getting out of Raleigh here soon. Raleigh, Missouri, Missouri S&T. Yeah, no, for the farmers opportunity, I just would want people to go into it. No, this is the best opportunity in the industry, and I'm biased, obviously, but best small business opportunity in America.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank
It
you.
was fun. We did this for about 55 minutes. Next week, I'll be honest, I have no idea who's coming on, so we'll let you know. Take care. God bless.